Finally, we come to the future tenses. Talking about the future tends to be more complicated than the past or present, at least in regards knowing when to use it. But thankfully, it's also less important for IELTS. This is because some future tenses have really limited uses and appear infrequently in our language. Look at the table and consider how often in the IELTS exam you would ever need to say, "I won't have been going." It very rarely comes up. However, proficiency in these tenses generally shows a higher level of English and can, therefore, be used in attaining higher band levels for the speaking and perhaps the writing task too. Although they can be difficult to know when to use, these tenses are actually quite easy to form. Looking through the examples here, you can see how little the structure changes. While in the present continuous we say "I am going" and "she is going," in the future continuous it is just "I will be going" and "she will be going." Likewise, for the perfect tenses, "I have eaten" and "she has eaten" become "I will have eaten" and "she will have eaten." The future simple is formed with will and the base form of the main verb. To make it negative, you can change it to "will not," which is usually abbreviated to "won't." As the future tense is most likely to be used in the speaking exam, I'll include "won't" below. We also very commonly contract "will" to ''ll," which is an "l" sound. For example, "I'll" and "she'll." The future simple is used for most events or actions taking place in the future. Here are some examples. The President will visit Paris next year for a peace conference. They will celebrate their 4th anniversary in December. As with the past and present continuous forms, the future continuous also includes to be and verb plus ing. Here we can see the example with the verb to wait. I will be waiting, I won't be waiting, will I be waiting? Remember, of course, we can also contract those. I'll be waiting. I won't be waiting, will I be waiting? The future continuous describes an ongoing action in the future. He will be running for president in next year's election. We will be eating those vegetables tomorrow night. The future perfect uses will have and the past participle. We can see here with the verb to finish. I will have finished, I won't have finished, will I have finished, and so on. The future perfect refers to a point in time by which an action will be finished. As such, it is often used together with an expression that indicates the time. By the time you get home from work, I will have fallen asleep. She will have gone to work before then. Perhaps the least common of our 12 tenses is the future perfect continuous. It uses will have been and the present participle. We can see here with the verb to learn. I will have been learning, I won't have been learning, will I have been learning? This tense is used to speak about a point in the future when an action will have been taking place but is not yet finished. It is quite commonly used with for to highlight the period of time that the action has been taking place. It may also be used as a marker for the time that is being referred to. I will have been studying for 5 years by the time I graduate. She will have been working for 48 hours by the time she finally stops. There are some other ways we can talk about the future that differ a little from those tenses. We can sometimes use the present simple to talk about future events. As strange as this sounds to non-native speakers, it really is true. If an event occurs regularly, we may use the present simple to talk about it. This is the case for movie showings, TV schedules, and transportation timetables. If one of these things occurs at a set time in the future, you may be able to refer to it with the present simple. The movie starts at 9 p.m. Our bus leaves at 7:30 a.m. Both of these are referring to a point in the future, even though they're spoken in the present simple tense. We can use another present tense to talk about personal arrangements that are set for the near future. The present continuous is really common in spoken English for this reason. I'm meeting my brother after school. We're playing golf this weekend. Both of these refer to a point in the future, but are spoken in the present continuous. Finally, we can use going to plus verb to express intentions for the future. It indicates that something has already been planned, or at least thought about, and that it will very likely take place in the future. Here are two examples. She's going to learn French next month. We're going to visit my brother in Washington. In most cases, it can be quite easy to figure out what someone means when they talk about the future, but actually speaking about the future can be more challenging. This is because the differences can be quite subtle. Take predictions, for example. You quite often deal with predictions in the IELTS exam, and so this is important. If you have some sort of evidence to back up your prediction, you should use going to. But if you have no evidence, you will use will instead. It can be really confusing. Fortunately, even native speakers bend the rules when it comes to tenses, not just for the future. And so using will where going to should be is not a major problem.